Hey guys! So, I wanted to talk to you about music. Most of you know how important it is to me, and I just wanted to have a little chat about to what extent music is important to me and how that kind of works. Because you know that I like write some songs every now and then, and I would never call myself a musician, I would not call myself a singer, I would not call myself a songwriter. But I kind of do a little bit of everything just to get the inspiration out there and just to have a good time. Because to call myself a musician, a singer, or a songwriter, that would be a disservice to the people who actually study it profoundly and are professionals at it. So I wouldn't call myself that. Right, let's get that out of the way first. But I do really enjoy writing and playing some chords and singing. So there's that. Now, to do that means that I need to have some feeling with music itself, right? Now, I don't know how to read notes. I know a lot of people do. It's not that I haven't tried it, but when I was a child, and I mean about like probably 9 or 10 years old, I took some keyboard lessons and I was actually pretty good. I mean, as far as, a 9, 10 year old can be good at music, but just playing the instrument, just like the chords on the one hand and the melody on the other hand, I was good at that. But it's not because I could read the music, because I couldn't. I thought I could because I didn't know that I wasn't reading. I was listening to the music, remembering, and then copying that. And I still kind of do that, but I digress. So, what I knew back then was that the note with the little line in it was the C. And I knew the C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. I knew that. So I would just count, right? I would just say, okay, so that's the C, so that's C, D, E, so that's the C and the E, and I would just go from there. Now, of course, they're easy. Once you know the combination of keys to get, you can play the chorus any day. You just need to know which one to play. But it was the melody, right? And the melody was the ones that I learned by listening to it. The teacher would play it, and he would play it again and again, and I'd remember it. And if I didn't, I would just count the notes and figure out what like the first three, four tones were, and I would recapture it and be able to play it again. So that is the way I played my keyboard, and because I learned it in that natural way instead of the technical way, it kind of became easier to practice and to play with it and to have fun with it. And I think that's where just the love for the intricacy and for really, really listening and really, really hearing it comes from. So yeah, that's where that started. Now, playing guitar, I taught myself how to play some of the chords. And then I just learned the rest of the guitar by just, I guess, practicing. And it's really just the chords I know and the strumming. And I just know it well enough to be able to write the songs that I want to write. And you've seen that in the video about how I write my songs, right? So I'm not going to get too much into that. But I don't play the guitar well. I don't write well. I don't sing well. Just well enough for me to enjoy it and for others to enjoy me doing it. That's why I share the songs, even though they're not perfect. But, it doesn't have to be. To be fun and to be pure. So, yeah, there's that part of it. And the thing with the like listening to music, right? I'm one of those people, I when I love a song, I want to know at least part of the words because when I love a song, I want to be able to sing along with it, to at least like the beginning of it and the chorus. So that's why I know so many words to so many songs, but I never know all the words to all the songs. But I just love, like, I'll wake up, like legit, I'll wake up and there's music in my head. There's just a song there. That's there before the first thoughts come. There's already a song. And basically throughout the day, there's music in my mind just going on, like a little jukebox in the background. So I'm always like humming or singing or doing something like that. So it's not even that I chose music, it's like music chose me. And it's to an extent that when I was younger, when I was like just at school, at school age, again, it's like 10, 11, maybe 12 years old, I would know the melody of music and the tempo of it to the extent that it would drive me off the wall if someone were to sing a song and skip parts of it. Because in my mind, that melody was still going, and they would just skip an entire part to go to the next singing part. And that would piss me off, because that's not the song. That's just your favorite parts of it. So that's how like intense that went. When like now the radio is pretty quality, but like 20 years ago, if you were in a car and you were listening to your favorite song and you go to a tunnel, at some point the radio would cut out. And then like 20, 30 seconds later, when you come to the other side of the tunnel, it'll turn back on. Now, if it was a song I loved, I would obviously sing along quietly, respectful to the other people in the car, obviously, but I would sing along. And the radio would cut out, and I'd just keep singing. And when the car came out of the other side and the radio got back on, my song would be at the same point that the radio was on. So that's how clear the songs remain in my mind, right? So when I say I learn by listening and not by technicality, that's the extent of it. So maybe that's why I love it so purely, and that's why I'm not good at playing it. Just loving it and enjoying it. And sometimes people ask me like, what music do you listen to? It's everything. I don't think there's much music that I don't like. Maybe opera, because it gets to a point that I cannot hear what they're singing. So it kind of goes past me understanding it. Maybe I need to just get a little more, like actually listen to it a bit more. But that just never quite captured me, even though I am amazed by how they do it and how technical and strong and powerful the voice control and the stories are. I do love all that, but I can't really get into the music of it. But if you ask me what do you listen to, I mean, it's everything, man. It's from pop songs, slow songs, just music. It's rock, it's metal, it's country, it's hip hop, it's R&B. It's even the old like techno songs from the 90s. Even those I'll still listen to. It's and not everyone knows this, but it's also the songs that tell stories, and the music that tells stories just by being the music. Most of you know this as well, how much I love Irish music. And I don't know everyone does, so some of you might be surprised, but I do love Irish music. And not just for like the vibe in the pubs, but for the variety of instruments that are pretty specific to the Celtic culture, like the bell and the tin whistle. There are some instruments that are so purely Celtic in that way. And I'm sure they're played in other places as well, but to me, they connect to that particular culture. And the thing about Irish music, right, is that it conveys more than just the music. It's more than just the coming together, even though that's a very big part of it. But it's even more than the joy. It is a way of telling the stories, a way of remembering the bad things that happen, the horrendous things that happen. It's a way to rebel, it's a way to convey emotions, It's a way to pass on the stories of the past and to make them more personal. And when these songs are sang and played, and when that music is shared, you can literally feel a place come together. And it just does something magical. And I think that's why I love it. It's not just the magic of like the whistle and the bodhrán and the guitar and the singing and it all coming together, but it is the depth of the stories and the celebration of like the upbeat music and the sadness of the slow songs and just the words and the way things are written and the way the music comes together with the people and the culture and the songs. There's just something so intricate and magical and pure and honest about it that I just really, really love that. So there's that. So yeah, that's I guess the depth that I love music in. It's not just that's a good song, let me listen to it. Like if I love a Noah song, I actually want to listen to it. I want to listen to all the instruments separately coming together at one. I want to listen to the tempo change, to the words that are being sang, to how it all comes together, to how much people are enjoying it and what it does to you personally, but also to other people and how it can speak to different people differently. I just love what happens, as such a thing, as so much more than just songs and music when you really take the time to get into it. And that is why I love so many styles, because so many styles do so many different things. And I'm going to show you something, right? Because like I said, I'm not a musician. I don't play a lot of music, but I do own a few instruments that might not actually make sense. But just because, like I said, a lot of instruments, they've made an impact on me in that in the music and like the Celtic music, the Celtic, sorry, not Celtic. Actually, Celtic music is pretty cool as well. But the Celtic music. So let me just share. This is my few little instruments. Now, you'll know my guitar. That one I kind of play-ish. This one is my newest little joy, my kalimba. I bought it because there's something. It seems easy, but it's not. But it is. It just sounds very specific, and it's made so beautifully that I just needed to have it. It gives like a sense of almost like magic and dreaminess to it. So I just had to have that. Same with this. That's a songstone and an ocarina. Songstone is a Celtic instrument, as you can see by the note there. And ocarina, I have no idea how to make proper sounds come out of this ocarina. But I just love it as an instrument. Again, it has this magical quality, almost like an off with the fairies kind of idea, and I love that about it. So obviously I had to get that. Now, the two lovely instruments, the thin or penny whistle, depending on which one you prefer. Both names are correct, by the way. A very Celtic instrument, very important in Irish and Scottish music. Not that hard to play, kinda, but very, very hard to play well. So quite amazing, very high-pitched sounds, very pure sounds, and just pure belter in good Irish music. Now this one, the low D, it is a lot bigger than the other one. It's a lot harder to play. I've actually done a video about that, trying to play them both, and this one is a nightmare. But the sound that comes out of it is so deep and beautiful, and it just cuts right through your soul. When it's played well, it just hits something within you that is absolutely amazing. So again, it is about the magic of these instruments. It's not about me playing them. It's just about how they touched me in life. Same with this. The Bowra, or the Bowra, whatever you want to call it. It's written Bodran, but don't call it that. That's not the actual pronunciation. I don't even know if I pronounce it correctly. If I don't, I'll hear about it. But this, don't think you can just bang this thing like that. There's actually like a technique where you have to like do this with your wrist to actually make a good sound of it. And you have to get your hand behind it to make the different sounds sound right. And it's actually pretty difficult to play. Like I said, I kind of know how to do it. Doesn't mean I know how to do it. But this is when you have a couple of people playing Irish music and this instrument comes in. Again, it is a vibration, it is a sound, it is a sense to it that just makes it so much purer and so much more beautiful. And like the combination, like all these instruments, they just connected to me in a different way, so I just had to have them. So now you've seen my little collection. Actually, before today, no one knew I had that. I don't know why. I guess it was just my little thing or something. But yeah, I don't think most people get instruments just because they touch their heart. I think most people get instruments because they want to play it. And like I said, I tried them out, but I can't play any of them properly. But it's just so nice to have them, just because they're so important to me. Anyway, that's enough of me talking about my music and music itself and all that. I'm like getting near 20 minutes, which is way too long for a little video. I did not expect that. Sorry about that. But yes, now you do know the extent of what music means to me. Maybe you recognize something in it, maybe not. But honestly, I could talk about this all day, which I'm not going to. Maybe there'll be a second video. Maybe I'll just like write a little song again, because as you hear, my voice is slowly but certainly coming back. So I'll give it about a week, and then it might be good enough to actually write a song again and to sing. The song I'm going to write is going to be about gratitude. I already know that. I don't know any other details yet. But yeah, it should be popping up one of these weeks once my voice is completely restored. Anyway, see you all the next time, and thank you for watching this one. Bye.